Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I really just want to talk about expectation management when it comes to changing your physique, weight loss, whatever it might be. All too often people come to me and say, how long is it going to take me to lose this amount of weight? Whether that's 10 kilos, 20 kilos, 30 kilos, whatever it might be. And a lot of the time they're very disappointed when they hear the answer, and that's best case. Other times it's, how long will it take me to lose my belly fat? How long is it going to take me to do this? And everyone is going to be case dependent on how much you have to lose and what your starting point actually is. For myself, when I had to go through my weight loss journey, I didn't actually know that I had 30 kilos to lose. I just knew sort of where I wanted to get to, what I wanted to look like. And realistically, I'd say if you're trying to lose specific parts of your body, we can't target where fat's going to come off from. And we know that the stomach is particularly a stubborn area for a lot of people, and that is going to come down as the rest of your body fat comes down. Unfortunately, no matter how many core classes or how many legs, bums and tums classes you go to, or how many carbs you cut out or whatever, isn't going to directly affect that. But as you do lose more and more weight, and I do think the reality is that you're going to need to lose quite a bit more weight than you think you need to get to where you need to be. You're also going to have to probably eat less calories than you actually think you need to have for you to get there. And that isn't to say that you need to eat 1200 calories a day or anything like that, but it is saying that this is actually going to be a difficult thing to do. And I think a lot of people come into weight loss thinking, oh, it's going to be so easy. I lost so much weight last time doing keto or cutting out carbs or carnivore or any of these other diets where you do lose a lot of weight initially. Sometimes I think people almost get it in their head that they're going to lose 5 kilos every single week just because you did in that initial starting point. But I think it's so important to actually go in with the expectation that this is going to be difficult. But it is going to be hard to stick to at times. There's going to be times where you don't even want to do it. There's going to be times where you're bored of eating the same type of foods all the time. There's going to be times where you want to snack. There's going to be times where you want to just cut it off completely. There's going to be times where you don't want to go to the gym, where you don't want to do your cardio, where you don't want to do your steps, where you don't want to skip any social occasions. And I think, unfortunately, there are people out there saying that you can eat whatever you want and not have to sacrifice anything to get where you want to be. And that is absolute bollocks. When I was preparing for my photo shoot, I was doing 9 hours of cardio a week. I was eating less than 1200 calories a day at points. I was doing 10,000 steps. I was training when I didn't want to. I was saying no to social occasions, or if I did go, I'd have things that maybe weren't what other people were having. I didn't drink alcohol anyway, but that's something that you may have to nip in the bud as well, if not cut down on, if you do want to get somewhere. I do get a lot of people come to me, especially on the gym floor, that say, oh, how can I target this specifically? How do I get rid of these? How do I do this without cutting out food? How do I do this without exercising? I don't enjoy exercise. And that's where you need to bridge the gap between what you're trying to achieve and what it's going to take for you to get there. And at times I've hated the gym. I've hated eating the same sort of foods. I've hated doing my steps. I've had no energy. I've had low mood. I've had all these things. But knowing where I wanted to get to meant more to me than not enjoying the gym. It meant more to me than having chicken and rice or having healthier foods. At the time, you've got to look at this as it's a choice to eat less. It's a choice for you to go to the gym. It's a choice for you to do extra activity. It's a choice for you to do whatever it is you need to do to get to what you want. And I do think that all too often people are coming out here sprouting rubbish of, here's the workouts I did to get shredded. Well, it's not, because the workout isn't a thing that gets you there. If anything, it's maybe 10% at most across your week, dependent on how often you are actually training and exercising, and the rest of it is going to come down to food. And if you have tried losing weight in the past and your weight isn't budging, or you think you're eating too little, or you track everything, then I hate to break it to you, but you're probably tracking incorrectly or miscalculating things. And that is something that is very easily done, especially when packets say per serving. That doesn't mean a whole packet a lot of the time. That means half a packet of rice. So instead of that 160 calories you think you had, it's actually double. Instead of that bowl of cereal thinking it was 100 grams, it was actually 200. So you've now had 800. It's these types of things where people miscalculate or misinterpret the information that they've been given, especially when it comes down to food. And the fact is, you're not actually eating the 1200 calories, which is something that gets brought up by, especially in a lot of women, the 1200 calorie mark, where I can't lose weight, but you weigh 90 kilos and are 5 foot tall. Something isn't adding up. And I think, unfortunately, sometimes we do need to look at the reality of it and say, am I actually doing the thing that I say I'm doing? And if not, maybe brush up on that or manage the expectation. And when I say manage expectation, I mean you're not going to lose a stone every month. That is not realistic. Losing 7 kilos or so a month just isn't going to work, especially if you are looking at changing your body and not just having a weight loss goal. And realistically, I think if you're watching this video or anyone else who is talking about this as a gym or changing your physique rather than just fat loss, because yeah, you can go and take whatever you need to take to lose 5 kilos a month, 10 kilos a month, but the number is going to become lower the less you weigh. When I was 107 kilos, I could lose at 1% of my body weight, 1.7 kilos a week. After that, as I got into the 90s, it then became 0.9, 0.8, 0.75. It even became lower the less body fat I had. It became lower the less food I was on. It became lower as I got leaner. And that is an expectation that I had to manage going into it, especially as I did see a couple of kilos come off in the first couple of weeks, which is completely normal. A lot of that is going to come from things like water weight and inflammation in general. And I think when we are mapping out our goal, if your goal is to lose, say, 10 kilos, are you going to do it in 5 weeks? Probably not. And if you are, is it going to be sustainable? Again, probably not. And that might not necessarily be a bad thing if you're trying to get ready for something like a photo shoot, a holiday, a bodybuilding show, whatever it might be. But if you're looking for more sustainable results, you may want to spread that out over 10 weeks, 20 weeks, or 30 weeks, or anywhere in between where you can actually apply the habits that you're trying to develop, actually get in a better relationship with food, exercise, and things like that. And then when you do that, it's going to be something that you can actually instill in your life rather than just going, oh, I'm going to eat like this for 10 weeks and then I'm going back to normal. Because normal eating is the thing that got you where you are now and not the thing that's going to get you where you're trying to go. So I think when you do come into this, it's really important for you to come in and say, this is going to take a long time. And that might be 6 weeks for some people. That might be 6 months for other people. It might be 6 years for others. It took me so long to actually get involved with the nutrition. And even I thought I could go and do core workouts and just exercise my way out of it. And I think the reality is, yes, you could out-exercise your diet if you have 5 or 6 hours spare every day to do steps, cardio, training, and all those things to create a bigger calorie deficit without food. But most people don't have that. So the reality is you're going to have to eat less and combine that with the stuff that happens outside of the gym, which is your recovery, your food, your sleep, your digestion, and stress levels, all want to be in a good place for you to do this. And that's going to make it way more efficient than you just trying to do a crash diet, which, let's face it, you've probably done in the past and hasn't got you anywhere. And if it has, you're back where you started, if not worse off because of it, which meant it wasn't the diet that worked. And that's the thing you need to manage. how long it's going to take. It's actually going to be hard. You're meant to be hungry. You're choosing to eat less food. You're choosing to do cardio. You're choosing to do hard work. And you coming in expecting this to be a walk in the park isn't going to happen. And all these influencers that are trying to sell you this fucking dream of, I eat this in a day, I eat 10,000 calories and lose weight. Your job is to exercise. Like, their job is literally to look good on Instagram. Your job is probably sitting in an office where you don't get much activity, or you're not paid to exercise. You probably don't even enjoy the gym that much. So managing the expectation of, I can go to the gym twice a week. Good, that's fine. Don't set the standard up here if you're not able to reach it. Rather, aim here and overreach, or aim a little bit. You know, you need to just manage what you're trying to do. And this isn't easy, but with the right guidance of hiring a coach or asking someone for help and not trying to take shortcuts is the thing that will actually get you there. And I think, like I've said in previous videos, it's a case of timelining how long things are actually going to take you. Like, if I need to lose, at the moment I'm around 92 kilos. If I need to lose 1% a week, I'm going to be at about 0.92 kilos or anywhere around that mark. It may be quicker at first, it might not. I want to get down to about 83. Okay, cool, so that's about 10 kilos. How long is that going to take me? Can I do it in 10 weeks? Yes. Do I want to do it that quickly? Potentially. I'll have to address how I feel. And for me, I'll have a halfway point, which may be 5 or 6 weeks from now. I will say, okay, what's my weight, or where am I at in relation to achieving that? If I'm way off, I either have two options here, and that is change the goal or change the timeline. So what I mean by this, I may go, okay, I've still only got the 10 weeks or 12 weeks, whatever it might be. I now have 6 weeks left of this. I'm 8 kilos off. I need to change that goal to 85, 86 if I want to get somewhere. Or I extend the timeline from the 12 weeks to maybe 20 to get to where I want to be. If I'm ahead of target, I can do the same thing and then say, okay, I now want to aim for more weight loss. But then it's also very important to have goals outside of that. And that might be, how do my clothes fit? How are my energy levels? Is my sleep better? Is my mood better? Am I getting stronger? Is my endurance better? Have I improved flexibility? Can I play with my kids? Can I do all these things that I've actually set out for? Because realistically, the goal isn't just weight loss, and weight loss is going to become from a byproduct of the things you've done and not the sole thing you're focused on. So again, what is the goal? If it's to feel better and feel more confident, what does that look like? What will give you that? Is it to be stronger? Is it to be fitter? What do those things mean? If I want to have less pain, okay, cool, that might come from losing a bit of weight as well. And if we can combine all these things and then relay it to, maybe I don't like the gym, but I like the things that it gives me, don't like eating less, but I like what it gives me, then you have to combine those things to the goal, and that's what's going to keep you on track for longer. And also, don't look at things long term, because you're coming in going, I've got to eat like this for a year, I've got to go to the gym for a year. These are things that you're going to have to implement and probably keep in your life to some extent if you want to keep that change, rather than just going, I'm going to eat like this for 12 weeks, then I'm going to go back to eating biscuits, crisps, cakes, sweets, chocolates, and takeaways all the time, because I'll be happy with where I'm at. Well, if that's true, you can't go back to what you're currently doing because that's not working, okay? I hope this video helps, and I'll see you in the next one.